Alrighty here. Let's call this good. All right, for those of you joining us later, just watching the live stream after it happens, this is the time we wait. The stream's supposed to start at 6. It is currently 5:52. So I'm going to give people about 8 minutes to join. First one. Wow, you're not late this time. It tells me that there's still 0 people, but I mean still. Hey, there's somebody else. How you doing, Bentley? Oh, now it tells me there's 1 person in here. Wow, YouTube is amazing. Freaking great. I'm going to give everybody a little while to join. It's supposed to start at 6, so we are not going to get started too much before then. How's the 400? Well, deer had their head clear up their rear end when they designed it, so it's still trying to come apart. Oh, I'm all right. Still too many projects and not enough time. But, yeah. For those of you who are still just joining, we're going to give everybody a little bit of time to show up if they want. This is supposed to start in 6 minutes, but I like to get in a little early so that people have a minute to get in and not have to rush. So just bear with me. We're not just going to sit here quietly the whole time. If you got any questions, I'm glad to answer them, but yeah. Do seals commonly break on the 200 series rear ends? What seals are you talking about? Are you talking about when you take it apart? Are you talking axle seals? Are you talking the seal that you replace when you split it in half? What are you talking about here? Which seals? And I mean, taking them apart, usually you mess them up a little, but just running them, usually they're fine. Oh, I've never had one leak that I can think of. I usually ignore them. The oil's not really up that far for the most part anyway, so they're usually fine. No, this is not a new building. This is the old shop. We're just in a different position. We usually sit over there, but I got the engine hoist and stuff for the 400 laying over there. And somebody had asked about this side tag 112 in the last live, so I figured I'd sit over here by it so I could show. All right. 556. Well, we've so far got 4 people according to YouTube. I don't know if that's accurate or not. More than likely it was not leaking from the brake then. I would very highly doubt it anyway. Usually they leak around the axle seals or sometimes the main seal. It's 4:56 for you. Well, I guess you're a little bit west of us. It's currently 5:57 here. I guess it could also, you said it's dripping down the case. I guess it could also be leaking out of the shifter, but it shouldn't be unless it's way, way, way over full or you're using it a lot. They normally don't leak out there very much because the only way the oil gets up there is it gets splashed up there a little bit occasionally. I don't think I've ever seen a brake seal fail, but I guess first time for everything, you know. They don't spin super fast and they don't have a lot of load, so they're usually pretty good about behaving. You don't use it a lot. Might be way over full, you might have to check. There's two plugs. The bottom one's the drain plug and the top one's the fill to plug. Well, it's sitting in the tractor on a level surface. It's kind of in the front, but underneath. You pull that one out, and if you get any fluid out of that, it should be very little. Hello, everybody. It says there's 6 people here so far. We are getting started in a couple of minutes, but officially anyway, but obviously we're already going here. Oh, and it just dropped down to 4. Not sure if YouTube is, you know, behaving, but okay. You reused the oil? Well, you shouldn't have probably done that, but okay. Doesn't really have any business leaking out above the oil level, but I guess if it wants to, then maybe it gets just enough splashed up there every time it seeps out some. You should have put new oil in it. It's just 80-90 weight gear oil that you need. The old oil has often been in there since new. If I drain oil, I always replace it, because especially out of the rear ends, because most people don't service the rear ends, and I'm kind of guilty of the same thing. I don't usually service the rear end unless I'm doing work to it or I'm rebuilding the tractor, because I mean, it's just all the oil's got to do is lubricate things. So and what time do we have? It is 6 o'clock. We are officially getting started. Coming in Fort Wayne. How you doing? Merry Christmas Eve to everybody. And I hope everybody has a good Christmas tomorrow. Not sure what I'll be up to. Probably doing some work out here in the shop and tinkering around in the house. Who knows? I do need to get this 400 finished up. Deere must have had their head clear up somebody's butt when they designed the John Deere twin cylinders, especially the 400. They have everything in the way. I do mean everything. It is just a pain in the butt to get anything apart on this thing. Planning on servicing rear end. May also pull the trans. Well, I mean, I don't know why you need to pull the trans if you're just servicing it, but if you wanted to take the trans apart, split it, and put some new seals in it, it's fairly easy to get the transmission out. Let's see here. As far as refilling it, you're supposed to do it in the tractor so that you get the correct level. It's just a real pain in the butt filling it laying underneath the tractor. That's pretty much the only issue I run into with doing it that way, and it's not really a problem. It's just a pain in the ass. Seems like we get more people when we do it earlier in the day. in these lives. Might have to change my day and time a little bit. Last time I did it Monday afternoon, and I think I had more people. So maybe I'll have to check into doing that, see what people thinks. Do they still make tires that are in front of the machine in front of you? Are you talking these tires here? I could not find any. I looked for these. These are actually originals, not to this tractor, but to a 68 110. And I decided I wanted to have a set of these on here. So when I found a decent set, I put tubes in it, put it on. But I could not find them when I looked to buy them new anymore. Doesn't mean they're not made. I just couldn't find them. Been working on the green 120 lately. Nothing mechanical. I'm obviously going to be restoring it here in a couple of years. In the next couple of years, hopefully it'll be done. I took the hood off it and was doing fiberglass work to that. I'd like to get into more body work and fiberglass work. So I spent the last, I don't know, probably month experimenting with that hood, and finished it today. It's not green yet. It's still in primer because it's too cold to paint now. But it is smooth as silk. I mean, you couldn't get it smoother. So I'm hoping that when I paint it green, I can get a nice glass finish, but I'm going to start doing more fiberglass work. It's not really super difficult per se. It is a real pain in the butt because, as I don't know if anybody knows, but fiberglass, when you sand it or get splinters off it or whatever, it pokes the shit out of you and it won't leave you alone, and it's hard to get rid of. So there's that. And a lot of sanding, but that's it. May just be me, but for Christmas presents, we should be, come back here. Christmas being in these lives, you can all buy us pizza. Well, that's not going to happen. You know, I make my own pizza up in here. But yeah, I spend all my money on tractor parts anyway, so I can't afford pizza. But I'd graciously take pizza if somebody else wanted to provide it. You know, we're never going to live down the pizza thing, are we? That's fine. What time is it? 6:05. All right. What other orders of business do we have to go over? Let's see here. Side tags still waiting for more parts to be painted. Yep, pizza always stick with us. Yep, that's good. That's fine. I like pizza. See here, the side tag is put together same as it was last. Waiting for some more parts to be done. I need to get the engine rebuilt and put back together and put in it. 140 patio is in the same state it was. I haven't done anything with it. I did buy some incorrect colored garden tractors. So I know, shame on me, I get it. But I wanted to know what all the hubbub was about them. So I bought me a few. Got 3, sold one to John. Well, did a partial trade to John. Got a parts tractor from him for one of mine. And I got one I'm going to sell and one I'm going to fix up. Potentially the engine's mint. Come on. Thank you. 400's kind of a rare sort. Everything was made. Well, the 400 tractor itself, not really rare. Made it for several years. It's a pain in the butt to find attachments. I wouldn't exactly call them rare though. Just more of a pain than it's worth. The 400 itself, hell, they made a boatload of them. It's more rare to find like an original from the original owner still or whatnot, like mine. But the tractors aren't rare. And attachments aren't really rare, they're just expensive. They're not as easy to find as, say, a blade for a 140, 318, or a 420, 430, but you can still find them. Let's see here. So the 400, everything's just about unhooked. Haven't figured out if the drive shaft is loose yet or not. I got the roll pin out and all that other crap holding it. I gotta, unfortunately, drain the engine oil because John Deere had their head through their ass and put the drain through the side of the frame, so you have to take it off to get the engine out. And I tried to pick up one side of the engine and pick it out, and that doesn't work. So, still got some more disassembly to do, but we're almost there. You offered a guy 200 for a 400. He hasn't called me back yet. I wonder. No, you won't get anything back from that. 400s, even in rough shape, mostly complete, but not running. They're still $500-600. I sold one 75. It was a parts tractor. The guy had it running and just blown up the engine, grenaded a rod, and so he had taken it apart. And I bought it for parts because he claimed to add 3-point. Well, he lied to me. But anyway, I think when I sold it, I still got $500 or $600 for it, $400 or $500. And guy drove down from Michigan to get it. So yeah, for $200, if you can get it for $200, you're basically robbing the fella. I think this one here I paid $600 for, and I've done a lot of work to it. All the tires were junk when I got it. Hydraulic system was, well, not very happy. I've probably got 2,500, $3,000 in it now. By the time I'm done with this starter. Now, I hope YouTube's wrong. It says there's one person in here. So I don't know. I don't think YouTube's very accurate, but maybe. Let's see here. Other orders of business. Not real sure. Don't really have anything else in the making yet. Did I sell my LP tractor? I'm not trying to sell an LP tractor. I do not have any LP tractors for sale. I haven't even checked. I haven't heard from John. Supposedly his video was supposed to go up today on taking that transmission apart for anybody who saw that video earlier this week of mine. He's just been slacking off and playing with his pecker, I guess, instead of doing his job and uploading and editing. So if I see it show up, I'll get the link and put it in my video, I suppose. But yeah, I haven't heard jack from him, and it's been plenty long enough that he should definitely have it up and done. I had mine up. I think I had mine up the same day I finished working on it. And John's just over here in his own la-la land, evidently. I don't know what the heck is going on with him. He ought to get it done and uploaded. But, can't fix stupid or lazy. You can, well, in the soil out here in Ohio, you can pull a two bottom, but it's a 2 to 3 plow tractor for a late style day. Where there's more sandy soil, you can pull a 3 bottom, but it's 2 bottom out here. Hmm. Alrighty. I don't know what YouTube is doing here, but I don't think that it is behaving. Sounds like that guy thinks he's oh so cool. Sounds to me like he's oh so stupid. I don't know if y'all could hear that. You got people redlining their vehicles going down the road up here. You hear it from clear across the county. Daggone people. I'd just find a used one wherever you can find one for a 3-point. I was actually offered the one that's on my tractor. Somebody had bought it for their 400 and decided they didn't want it, so I picked it up. But I would not buy one of those off-brand ones, but that's because I like everything to be factory original correct, not off-brand junk or, whatever else. A lot of that new repop stuff is Chinesium. I don't like Chinesium. Kind of surprised YouTube still only says there's one person in here. Does it tell anybody else anything different? I wonder what kind of service I have if I can move around. Whoever's in here, let me know when I start moving around if it still looks decent. It doesn't like it when I move it. It said reconnecting. I'll just sit still and behave. I think if you're dumb and you beat the hell out of them, they'll break off. But hell, they look like they're ½ inch thick or better over there. So, I mean, as long as you're not doing anything stupid, they shouldn't break off. But I have seen some dumbass people broke off. I've pulled with mine probably a little harder than I should have, and I haven't broke them off. But I haven't done it much because the darn thing won't quit breaking, but yeah. Yeah, somebody must have been really abusing her then. Because like I said, them look like they're probably bigger than ½ inch. I ain't never measured them, but they look pretty stout. Axle housings are only $20 a piece. Yep. I'm Kind of surprised you're getting them at that price, honestly. Normally, even for the 2300 axle housings, people seem to want more than that. Anything you buy that's just parts is always more expensive than just buying the whole thing. It's always just more of a pain. But sometimes it's worth it. I usually like to buy the whole thing to get parts, unless I only need like a $30 part or something. Let's see here. What else do we have? We're still working on the D. Not really filming it though. Probably could have, as much as we're ending up having to do. But originally we thought simple job, you know, rebuild some things, put them back on and running. But we got into the wiring on it, and somebody was in there that should not have owned tools or wiring equipment or anything like that. We ended up just ripping the whole damn wiring harness out and rewiring the whole tractor. Rebuilt the starter, carb, generator. We're having to go through the rest of the fuel system because the three-way valve in it's leaking, and somebody cross-threaded the shit out of it anyway. So we had to put a new sediment bowl in so that we got the right one, because the shutoff was broke off of the sediment bowl. One thing right after another on this daggone D. We're getting close to the point of trying to start it. Nope, I haven't had any round fenders for several months. I don't like them. Haven't had any for a while. Why don't you like them? Well, because everything that I have has to be functional, and they're not very functional. They don't have enough travel on the rear lift to lift and lower a plow and get the depth you need and still be able to get it off the ground. And they're only 8 horse, so there's only so much you can do with them. They're not comfortable to ride on because it's just a pan seat. And I mean, they're way more expensive than buying, say, a 212, 214, something like that, because round fenders are more collectible. Everybody wants them, and therefore, you know, a good running round fender is $800 to $1,000. A good running 212, 214 is $600-800, and this is with no attachments. You start putting attachments on them, and they just keep going up from there. But I can pick 212s up that run for $600. But round fenders, when I sold mine, I got $800 for it, and I don't think it was listed for a week. And I mean, I had a boatload of interest right off the bat when I listed it. So I mean, they're not a functional tractor for what I'm doing. What are the round fender plows worth? They're round fender plows. They're all sleeve hitch. They're all the same. Oh, snow plows. Well, apparently nothing. I had one of them rare 6-way ones at one point, and I couldn't get $50 for it. I ended up just giving it away. Traded it for a gasket set for a junk Tecumseh. So evidently nothing. But yeah, I don't really know. I should have probably kept it, but too late for that, I suppose. Yeah, 6-way. It goes up, down. You can angle it left and right, and then you can tip it so you can put one corner lower than the other to make a ditch. Fairly rare from what I understand, but at the time, I didn't have a round fender I needed it for, and all I had was this 112 hydraulic lift side tag here, and probably a 140. So I picked up some attachments because they were supposed to be for, well, this 112 here, or it might have been for my other 112. I don't even remember. For a 112 is what they were supposed to be. And then there were a bunch of round fender stuff too, so I sold all the round fender stuff. None of it was worth anything. I think I had a tiller, or no, maybe. I think I had a snowblower, a tiller. The tiller was a correct square fender one. The snowblower and the snow plow were round fender ones, and then I had an adapter to put either of them on a square fender or the other way around, something like that. And I sold all that stuff. I think I got $50 for the adapter, and ended up selling the blower for, I might have got $100 out of that. It might have only been 50. I think John bought that. And then the blade I couldn't get rid of. I just traded it for a gasket set for a junk Thompson engine for this tractor right here, as a matter of fact. And haven't really messed with any round fender attachments since. I have 2 decks right now and a tiller. I can't get rid of any of them. The tiller I'm not trying to sell, but the decks, I can't get nothing out of them. Nobody seems to be interested in them. And I don't even know. They're apparently just not worth anything, round fender attachments. People like to put the narrow front end under them, or 40-20 kit or whatever, and basically butcher them. And so they don't want any attachments, because by the time they're done butchering, there is no way to mount an attachment. I also have a sleeve hitch too. Those are pretty damn valuable, because you can still put a rear attachment on with that kit usually, and so people will still put a plow or a disc or something on them. But I finally got a sleeve hitch. There, oh shit. A couple years ago, I bid one up on eBay, one of them round fender sleeve hitches, trying to buy it. I think I bid it up to $600 and let it go. Somebody else wanted it worse than that. So that's about the most valuable round fender attachment that I've come across. That's like a normal, more everyday type of deal. Obviously, once you get into the loaders and sickle bars and stuff like that, they're more expensive, but the square fender sleeve hitches are $150, $200, sometimes $250, but not usually. So we're supposed to have some more snow. We had snow, last week, sometime, I believe. We had, I think we got a couple of inches, not enough to snowplow, and it melted the same day. We're supposed to get some more later this week. It's supposed to, well, there's chances of snow, I think Thursday and Friday. So hopefully this time we'll get enough to plow and actually make a video on, because I know everybody has kind of complained that they haven't seen a snow plowing video, and I'm complaining too, because I like playing in the snow, plowing snow and whatnot. So everybody cross your fingers and hope that we get snow, you know, do all the snow dance or whatever the hell they tell you to do, because it'd be nice to get, you know, 6, 8, 10 inches of snow, maybe a foot to play in, instead of the pussy ass couple of inches we got the one time and then it melted. Like some that'll stick around and enough to do something with. That would be ideal. At the moment I got the 140 and the Gravely set up so I can snowplow with them, so if we get some, I'll be ready. Ags aren't going to help you in the snow. You're going to want chains, not ags. Or both, you know. Doesn't matter what tire you put your chain on, really, but you're going to want some chains for the snow. It makes a world of difference, I'm telling you. Oh, that's good. Chains make the world of difference. I mean, night and day, from not being able to do squat to bulldozer mode. I'm telling you, they're amazing. I gave John a set. He can't figure out how to get them on, I think. He said that they don't fit, but I know for a fact that they do. So I tried to tell him that get a set of tires out, I'll help him put them on, show him how to do it. No, he'll figure it out himself. So we'll see if he actually ends up using them. If he doesn't, then I might confiscate them and take them back. No point in giving him something if he's too stupid to use it, or stubborn, I guess. Maybe stubborn is the right word. Too stubborn to use it. But I think the first term might have been partially correct also. Our 140s, reliable for the most part. Enough reliability to run an hour-long parade. Well, yes, if you take care of them and have the maintenance up, but no, if you just like buy one out of a yard and out of a field or fence row or tree line or whatever and just try and get it running. Once you've done the correct things to it, they'll be reliable, but that's a loaded question. Because you can't just say, yep, all 140s are reliable, or nope, all 140s aren't, because that's not, neither of those would be true. It's reliable if you have put the work into making sure it's reliable. The Kohler engines are a good engine, and the 140 is a good tractor, but any tractor, vehicle, plane, boat, truck, train, anything, if you don't maintain it, it's not going to be reliable. You have to keep up on maintenance and replace worn out parts. When these get parked and you buy them non-running, they've been parked for a reason. Something's probably worn out, and you'll have to do some replacing and fixing. Just like this 400, it sat for probably 20 years, maybe 30 years. And yeah, it ran and drove. But now that I've started trying to do something with it, more things are breaking because it's been sitting so long. And it's old. On my 140 I rebuilt, I usually don't run them for very long. I'll only run them for an hour, usually at a time, sometimes 2. But I've run it for 2-3 hours at a time, working it, and it's good. Saw one sell for $300. If it was an H3, that's still pretty good. If it was an H1, then that's about what they go for. Maybe a little less sometimes. H1s aren't really worth nothing. My 140 that I bought, blown up, the 74, I paid $500 for it blown up. And then, of course, put several $1,000s into restoring it. Or restoring it. Didn't actually do a full-on restoration. Completely rebuilt the engine, but just painted everything. Kind of cruddy-like, just because it was turning blue. Also, I'm going to address this here because I can. I see a lot of people painting their tractors with TSC's John Deere green paint and Rural King's John Deere green paint and every other freaking brand except John Deere, you know, Harbor Freight and this and that and the other thing. And stop doing that. Go buy John Deere paint, cheap ass. All that cheap stuff is cheap for a reason. You get what you pay for. All that cheap paint isn't exactly John Deere green because it's not allowed to be legally. Also, it's just not great quality stuff and it turns blue over time. So don't do that. Just go buy correct John Deere paint. It's only expensive as hell, I know. But suck it up and just buy actual John Deere paint, because instead of having to paint it every 5 years because it's turned blue, you'll have to paint it once, and it doesn't turn blue if you buy the John Deere stuff. So I mean, it'll last. Let's see here, we got a tractor over there that we painted with John Deere paint probably 10 or 12 years ago at least, and it still looks just as good as this side tag. I mean, it's still actually green, not blue. On the same scenario, I see people, and I've had tractors that people have painted, a couple of years ago. Well, they used junky paint, and it's turned blue. Huh, sirens. Must be a Band-Aid call. I'm going to put this also out here. Still looking for bug eyes. My 73 140, first one I had, it's still MIA. Haven't found it. Found one that looked like it, but the guy claims it's a 74 and he won't give me any more information. Doesn't want to talk to me apparently. So it's got the same 112 hydraulic lift hood that I sold mine with, it looks like, but his is it doesn't have the right headlights. So keep your eyes out for it. Serial number is 54948. I still have yet to find it. Still looking though. Everybody keep your eyes peeled. I'm looking to get it back. If I find it and it's not completely clapped, it still runs and drives, I'm just gonna try and trade my 74 for it. That was interesting. Something's out there yelling. Let's see here. I still have the other 73 140 that I picked up, and I still not going to do anything with it just yet. I might get to it this winter if I have nothing better to do, such as if I run out of projects, which I'm sure that won't happen, but if I do, then it'll become on the agenda. I'd like to get this 400 done, and then I got a Gravely and a Cub I'd like to get going and usable, and then I want to bring the 212 in here and get the engine pulled out of it and start rebuilding that engine. And once that's done, I'll probably bring the patio in here and switch out the transmission so it's got its LSD trans back. After that, not real sure what I will do. Just depends on my timing, what time of year it is. If it's getting to be spring by then, which I hope not, but if it is, then the 212 will come in here and we'll start painting it, getting it redone. Otherwise, yeah, I'm not sure. Sirens again. Wonder if those dipshits from earlier thought they were cool and ended up hitting a pole. Maybe if they did, it knocked some sense into them. Doubtful, very. Unfortunately. I'd like to put it out here. Y'all, there's 5 people in here and only 1 like on the video. Come on now. Is 1,882 hours high for a K532. It's getting up there for sure. As long as it was maintained and it's not burning oil, it should still be fine. I have no idea how many hours are on mine. The hour meter was mint when I got it. It had been sitting outside for so many years, you can't exactly see it very well. So, I do have, see here, I have a Gravely with what, 2,200 hours on it with a Kohler 12 horse K301. It still runs good. I still use it some, but it does smoke. It burns oil. So, I mean, as long as they're not burning oil and smoking and low on compression, if they've been maintained, you're usually pretty good. You can get up there a little further, but the closer you get to 2,000 hours, the closer you are going to be to getting, seeing a rebuild in your future, I suppose I should say. Because they are just a small gas engine. They don't last forever. You will have to rebuild it eventually. 2,000 hours, it's getting up there, but if it's maintained, it should be fine for a little while. Just check for play in the piston and connecting rods when you buy it. Make sure it doesn't burn any oil. Unless you're buying it non-running, then I would definitely watch out. Also, if you haven't bought a 400 yet, I just wouldn't. Especially one that's that high hours, because they're a royal pain in the butt to work on. They're not exactly worth it. It is non-running, but the oil did look good. Well, I just wouldn't buy it. They're a royal pain in the butt to work on. And, yeah, they're just, I don't know, they're okay. But not exactly my choice of a tractor. I think I'll probably hang on to this one for a little while longer. If somebody showed up and offered me money for it, then it'd leave right away. But as far as selling it, I probably wouldn't list it, just because I already have so much money into it. But I also would not go buying another one, because they are a real pain. You have to take the engine out to get the starter. So, you know, if the starter goes out, then that's not fun. They have everything in the way to get the engine out. The oil cooler is in the way of getting the engine out. The engine is in the way of getting the oil cooler out. And the oil cooler is in the way of getting the drive shaft easily loose. I mean, you can still get in there to get it, but it's just not easy. I'd offer pizza for that 400. No. I know what I got. Yep, I do know what I got. $7 million. No low balls. I know what I have. Rare. Very, very rare. Yeah. People on Marketplace. Yep. That's what we're talking about today. Apparently. I saw somebody had an unstyled B on Marketplace earlier this week. And it'd be a decent parts tractor. That fucking retard wants $1,700 for that thing. We didn't get $1,700 for the unstyled B with a single front wheel we sold that ran. So that guy, he's smoking something, I'm telling you. Like a $500 tractor. I told him, I'm like, yeah, you're not getting that, but you can't fix stupid. You can muffle the sound with duct tape, or you can eliminate it, but it's not legal. You could just ignore it also, but kind of hard to ignore sometimes. Oh, boy. Ignorant people don't know. Yeah. Well, it doesn't help all these people like to walk around and tell people that, oh, it's John Deere, it's worth a lot of money. Some people think just because it says John Deere, it's automatically doubles the value. It's gold plated now, which it's not true. Yeah, John Deere stuff's the best. It's the most expensive stuff on the market, but good grief, some of these people are just high on every drug they can find in Biden's desk drawer when they list some of this stuff. I had some fool, probably 2 years ago. I was told that guy had a 110 patio. I could get it real cheap, real cheap. Went down and looked at it. It was a 69 110 hydraulic lift patio. It had sat for 15 years, I think, and the guy had just got it so it would run. The electrical system was not good. He was jumping things with jumper wires, and it burned oil, it smoked. But it was all there. I think it was orange, if I remember right. That sounds right. Maybe red. I think orange. And I went down there and asked him, well, what do you got to have out of it? His response was, well, since you're here today, if you have cash, I'd give it to you for $1,500. But I think it's worth closer to $2,000. Like, no, you freaking inbred retard. If it was a 71, yeah, it would be worth $1,500 all day. A 70, well, you're $1,000, $1,500 maybe on a good day for a 1970. But for a 69, it's a $500 tractor. The hood was okay, but it was busted up a little. The seat was, well, it was rough. But yeah, dude thought he was going to get that out of it. I didn't even bother making an offer. I told him, well, I'm just not interested. So anymore, people just seem to think that everything's worth 3 times what it is. Until it's time to buy, then they want everything cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Which I understand, I want stuff cheap too, but you don't always get what you want. What else we got in the way of questions, guys? Anybody need any information on anything? I see there's 5 fellers in here, 4 fellers in here, or fellettes. What's everybody doing tomorrow for Christmas? Crickets. Don't everybody respond at once now. Ding dang. Ain't nobody doing nothing for Christmas according to these here comments. Oh, there we got somebody. I am showing off 210 wrapped in Christmas lights. Well, that's just okay. Wrapped in Christmas lights, huh? That's kind of a new one. Well, unfortunately not. I don't go for all that wrapping your tractor in Christmas lights crud. Ruins the paint if you got nice paint on it. And then, you know, if you're leaving it outside, then of course it's left outside. I don't like that either. We don't do the whole Christmas lights situation anyways. Usually. Mostly just city people like to set stuff out and put Christmas lights on it around here. We don't have very many people at all that set tractors out with lights anymore. We are all Midwesterners, just waiting for one person to go. Oh, I see. Is that how it be? I need to get my 210 rebuilt. The engine in it is whooped, and I do mean whooped. So it'll be on the rebuild agenda maybe next winter. We'll see. I got so many dang rebuild projects right now. I don't do Christmas lights, but my brother did his truck with lights, and I had to show him up. Well, if you're gonna show him up, shit, do his house. I don't know. Put big big giant Christmas lights over all his windows so that it shines in his windows and keeps him up. He already did his truck, which that's a embarrassing postage stamp or kind of weirdo kind of situation. If he hadn't done that to himself, I'd have told you to do it to him, but daggone, he already did it to himself. So yeah, I don't know what you can do to a fellow like that. If somebody did up my truck, I'd be kind of upset. We ain't done no Christmas lights in years and years. We're bah humbug. How's that? He did buy a Prius, which made, yeah, well, oh, he's freaking one of those. You know, your brother just keeps getting worse and worse the more you comment. Drives a Prius, decorated his truck. Let me guess, he drives a fucking Toyota or a Chevy, half-ton, some piece of junk like that. Probably thinks he's a big man because he's got a pretend truck that he can't haul jack with. Is he one of those two? Go away, people, I'm busy. Got notifications rolling in. Hopefully y'all can't hear all that. We'll just tell all them people to go beat off something. He drives a rotted out Ford. Well, I mean, it could be worse. It could be some piece of shit Chevy or a Dodge that the transmission's zip tied in because it fell out 16 miles ago. Or some piece of junk Toyota or Nissan or some fake Honda Ridgeline pretend truck. At least he's got the best with his Ford. Probably still just a half-ton though. And most of them old Fords are fairly rotted out. Especially in Ohio and Pennsylvania and in the Rust Belt. Every vehicle's rusted out in the Rust Belt. There is a boatload of 90s Chevys around here that are so rusted out, almost the whole bedside's completely gone, just rusted off. Go away, people. Lives in Chicago. Ah, well, you know, city folk, you know. I don't go for the whole city vibe. I don't know why. I couldn't imagine living in the city. That'd just be horrible. Especially for me. I don't know where I'd keep all my tractors in the city. I'd have to get creative. Neighbor would wonder, or probably complain, hey, why do you have the whole street taken up with tractors? Your yard's full. Well, you know, I ain't got a big enough barn here in this little postage stamp place. Oh, how do you feel about people building on our farmland? Building their housing developments? I wish they'd just move back to the city and go stack themselves in cages in an apartment building like the rest of the trash. No need to come out here and think you're a country person and then bitch and moan about everything the farmers do. A lot of those housing development people will whine and throw a temper tantrum like a 3-year-old when the farmers spread shit on the field or do whatever and make noise, working ground, planting, harvesting. Them city folk don't like that. I just wish they'd all move back to the city and go move back into their damn crates in their cages that are stacked, aka apartment buildings, and stay the heck out of our way. Can't do nothing out here without them city pussies complaining. No respect. Nope, that's true. There ain't none. Ain't no brain power for anybody either. All these people are dumb as a box of rocks. And I notice more and more these people in these housing developments that are kind of starting to be out in the country a little bit more. They're still not in the country because they're in a damn housing development. But the ones that aren't in the middle of a city, you know what I'm saying? Them people, a lot of them, about half of them, seem to have a Toyota Tacoma or a Toyota Tundra, four-wheel drive, four-door, short bed, lifted on small pecker tires, because they think they're country when they have a big truck, but it's just a little pussy mobile. Those fucking Toyotas, you can't pull nothing with those damn things. They can hardly pull themselves around. If I had $1 for every time I saw a Toyota going down the highway lifted that couldn't hardly keep itself going up a hill, daggone, I could buy a new truck. Those things are just pieces of junk. I said that and some people left. I must have made somebody upset, but they'll get over it. Yes, I am. Out here, we don't care if you're offended. If you're offended, we just laugh at you more. If you don't like what I have to say, then you know where the door is. That's what we tell people. They just have to get over it, I suppose. Then there's John. He thinks he's a country folk too, but he's very, very city-ish. The city is coming out to him, and he doesn't live on much land. I think they live on 2 acres or something. And I mean, he thinks that they're just the countryest country. He has a Toyota Tacoma 2-wheel drive, and his mommy drives a Chevy, 2 Chevys, which are mostly sufficient for what they do, except for their junk because they're Chevys. But I mean, they think they're everything great. And I showed up there one day, and I think I was bringing John something. I don't even remember. I'm banging on the shop door. Where the hell is this idiot? So I called him. I'm like, you got 2 minutes to open this door or I am breaking it down. He's like, no, don't do that. I'm around back. Okay. So I walked around back, and we had like 1 inch, 2 of snow on the ground. And John had drove his Toyota across a gravel, half kind of yard situation to bring some junk over to the burn pit, and he got stuck in his Toyota. Now granted, it's 2-wheel drive, so it's not going to do great, but it should not have had any trouble driving through what he was driving through. And we couldn't push it out because he had kept spinning and made himself even worse. So I just went in and I got his 216 out and hooked a strap to that Toyota, and I think I put it in 2nd or 3rd gear. Man, I never spun a tire. He's back there spinning and having a hellacious time. Never spun a tire. I drug him out, drug him up the hill back to the building. What a piece of junk. So, yeah, that was all the proof I needed that Toyotas are they're not good. And it's not like a super reliable vehicle. The older Toyotas seem to be a little bit more reliable, but you still can't use them for anything. They're gutless. On another note, it is currently 6:56 here. That means we've been at it actually I've been at it for over an hour, but the live has only officially been at it not quite an hour. So I am going to go ahead and start saying the getting wrapped up situation here. If anybody has any other questions or anything they want to add, I will be, I'm not going to cut anybody off by leaving, but if there's nothing else, I'm going to be leaving here in, about 3 minutes-ish. But if anybody has anything else that needs addressed, we can go ahead and go over it. But until anybody puts that in the comments, I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas tomorrow and enjoys their long weekend having Christmas. And yeah, just we have another comment. Welp, I suppose. Okay. I hope everybody has a good Christmas, able to spend time with your family and friends, and don't get rained on too much because it's supposed to be nice and warm. The end of the last live was weird. Yeah, I know, the end of the last live, let's go over that real fast. So I'm not sure what people thought they were up to. Last live we did, which was 2 weeks ago, toward the end, we had some fucking ignorant, retarded motherfucker show up. The first thing he said was, "I'm hard." And this is just going to get worse from here. So if there's any kids watching, you might want to remove them. You have a good Christmas too. Yep. Well, okay. Some ignorant retard comes in, "I'm hard." I'm like, okay, whatever. Just kind of ignored him. I'm thinking he's probably talking about something else. Maybe they're having a conversation in the comments or something. Don't know. Like 2 minutes later, the fool says something else. I don't even remember what else he said. I'm like, I'm just going to ignore that too. Then probably 5 minutes later, he goes, "Have you ever fucked a orange patio in the exhaust?" I'm like, you've got to be kidding. Some fucking ignorant, retarded, brain dead motherfucker. So if that person is here now, fuck you. If he's not here, well then I ought to go find him and restrict him from the channel. I didn't even think about it. Don't know if it's some fool just playing around or if it is somebody that's actually serious, but don't bring that kind of stuff here. And if you can't be nice, then we will restrict you from the channel. We don't need that kind of talk in the comments, in the live streams, whatever. I try to keep this not 100% clean because, you know, sometimes when you're working on stuff, you just got to swear. But I do try and keep it family friendly some so that you can watch it with your family a little bit. But there is some swearing. I try and cut a lot of it out in the videos. Obviously in the lives, I can't go back and just cut out because it's live. But I try and keep it fairly Christian on here. So to that person, if we see you doing that again, you will be restricted from the channel and not welcome back. And yeah, with that, I think we're ending on a good note. It is 7 o'clock. So, Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you have a good long weekend. Have a safe trip if you're going somewhere for Christmas. And just enjoy. So, we'll see everybody next time. For everyone who's interested, we do a live every other Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So, I guess for anybody who will be at the next one, I will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.